like I was saying, if this was the only step that you took, you went into SharePoint, you created this list, you're 2 million steps ahead of that spreadsheet you create, because you have a central location, you have a link that everybody could go to. You're not passing a spreadsheet around through email. But here, I'll do you one better. I'll take a step different. You know what I'm saying? If you are already managing a SharePoint site, or you're inside of Teams, you know, you got your team site, I always tell everybody that the first thing that you should do if you're new to SharePoint is create a SharePoint site like this. This is our site. You know what I'm saying? The contract ABCXYZ thing that I was telling you about earlier, this is our site. Create your site, very easy, very manageable, and then put everything that you manage on that site. That's how I teach everybody. Site first, central location, put everything there. So for instance, you see I got deliverables here. I got personnel, I got a performance work statement, task orders, tasks, all of that. Imagine your organization or Lajuan's organization, they are building that ticketing system. They've got it up to snuff, they're ready to go. Now they want to put it on the site that everybody's already used to going to for everything else. Here's what you do. You come check out the ticketing system. When you hit new, you see this right here, you get a link. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm gonna show you like a super basic way. But I can copy this link, right? Copy that. If I paste that link and go to it, look what I see. I see this form. So that's what I want for my end users. I don't want them to have to pick, should they enter it? Look, here, let's go back. I don't want them to have to pick, like, should they enter the information like this? Or should they hit the new button? I don't want them to have to choose. I just want to streamline things for them and make it very easy. So let's go back to our home page on the site. And you see we got some buttons here. I'm going to hit edit. And I'm going to add a new link. You know there's a whole bunch of ways. Matter of fact, here, let's do this. I want to make a little section over here. This is another part of SharePoint's feature, is a SharePoint site. I'd love to be talking about that here today, but we're doing lists. We got a whole bunch of options here. So there's something called a button. I'm gonna just create a button, and I'm gonna label this, and I'm gonna say enter, or what is it? Enter, or what is it called? Ticket. Okay, help desk. Create help desk. Oh no, open. That's what I was thinking of. Open help desk ticket. Then I take the URL that I just copied from that form, and I'm gonna paste it right here. And here, let's center this just so it looks cool. Open help desk ticket. Now I hit republish. Now this is a super basic design of my site, but it's fine, right? So now I'm telling everybody in the organization, listen, we have a help desk ticketing system. Just go to the main page or go to the site page. You'll see it right there. They come here, they hit open help desk ticket. And now they can enter it into a form. This is the way you want to lead your folks down the path of submitting information. So Windows, let's put in a request. Windows is broke. Every time I turn on my computer, I see the main screen for a few seconds, then the whole computer restarts on its own, which is ridiculous. And I am in the finance department. Now, if I had some attachments to add in here, something that, you know, would support this ticket, I could throw that in there too. I could hit add attachments, grab something from my computer, a picture, whatever, throw that in there, but I don't. I'm gonna hit save. That, I don't know why that just took for me to refresh, but it happened. Don't worry about that. Sometimes SharePoint's has some glitches. So here's our request, right? Like, this is our request. Now, basic, out of the box SharePoint allows you to do what I just did. Have my users come to the site, put in a request, submit it, it comes into my log. That's what I forgot. Let's give it a status. Let's give each ticket a status. We could say requested, so that's the default. Everything is requested by at first. Then we can say started, and then we can say complete. Right? But let's make complete green and make started, we can make that yellow. And then right here, this option default, I'm gonna say is requested. Since this was already created, we're too late, but I'll put it in there. Requested. Okay. So now I have a request here, and I can see that it's still requested. It's from the finance department. Here's some information, and I can see that the main thing is that the Windows is broke. That's what they said. Okay, cool. Now let's take this to the next step and show you what you could do with this this ticketing system. So now I'm gonna hurry up and put, I don't know, maybe 4 more requests in here, so that we can have a volume of requests, and I can show you what we could do here. So I'll say the first one was Windows is broke. This one I'll say Windows is super broke because Windows doesn't have any money. You know what I'm saying? And then this is coming from this is also coming from the finance department, and then the status is going to default to requested. So then we do another one. We'll say my Surface keyboard isn't working. It was working last week, but now it stopped. This is coming from HR, and again, it defaults to requested. Now we put in one more. We'll say one of my monitors won't show the right resolution. Let's just say that. It's shrinking. I can't spell shrink. It's shrinking to the middle of the monitor. All right, and that is from somebody in operations. And again, that's also requested by default. All right, so exit. Now, the cool thing about this is that every record that we see, we can change this format real quick. Okay, every record that we see in this system is an individual record, whereas on a spreadsheet, these are all considered like one big bunch of data. So look at this. If I just add a column that, not add a column, but if I show a column called created by, this is a system column inside of SharePoint that tracks who's doing what. So if I added the column created by and hit apply, obviously all of them are going to say Therman Trotman. But if I got people all over the organization coming to this thing and submitting it, I would see their names in created by. It just so happens that I'm the person who created all of these. So that's something that you could do inside of SharePoint. You cannot do inside of a spreadsheet. When everybody goes and puts their information into that spreadsheet, you don't get to see the individual person that puts in each record, because the whole entire thing counts as, for lack of a better explanation, counts as one big record. You know what I mean? So in SharePoint, each of these rows is a record. Now, I come in here as the help desk person who's seeing all these behind the scenes. And I go, okay, it's time for me to work this ticket. So the first one, I can double click on this, or I can hit editing grid view, whatever one, to edit this ticket. So if I double click here and I say, this is now started, now I've moved that to a different process. It's now in the started process. I'm ready to get going on this ticket. So I call whoever the person is, and I'm like, or I message them on Teams, whatever. I'm like, listen, what's going on with your ticket? And they go, you know, every time I'm turning it on, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me log into your computer and, you know, fiddle around. I get in there and I find out that it's something that can be fixed, but I need something else to fix it. And right now I don't have that thing. I'll get to it. So here, I want to come to this item, hit the comments, and say, I logged into the computer for the customer, but they needed a driver that I currently don't have. Whatever, I'm making this stuff up. This sounds like foolishness. A driver that I currently don't have. We'll get it downloaded and updated tomorrow. All right, fine. So now I have a comment on this item, right? So my ticket system is rocking and rolling. Now, here's another thing that people do with spreadsheets. They say, okay, I have my started items, my requested items, and my completed items. Because once the item is complete, I want to move it off. I'm done with it. They then take items and copy and paste them on different tabs of their spreadsheet. So they'll open up their spreadsheet. They got the main view with all of the items, what we're looking at right here. Then they create another tab, and they call that tab started. So they're like, all right, listen, every time that we get ready to start an item, just make sure you copy it off of the main page and paste it on this page. Then they create another tab. See if I can bring up a spreadsheet, show you what I'm talking about. You probably know, but just in case. Just in case you've never done this before with a spreadsheet, this is a good thing to know not to do. Use SharePoint instead. So right here, you would have all your items, right? And you would have it listed right here. Let's just say you have all 4 of your items listed right here. People like to create another tab and they'll say started, right? And then they'll create another one and say complete, right? And so they'll have their items right here on this first tab. And when they started it, like the person who started the one for the customer I just gave the example of, they copy it off of here and then they paste it on here. They don't cut it off of all items, they copy it. So now they have it in 2 places. They have it in here because, yo, we got to have all the items. We got to know everything that we're tracking. But on started, only paste the started items on this tab. I'm laughing because this is ridiculous. Now, when you mark this item as complete, cut it off of this one, cut it off of this tab, paste it on this one, and then make sure you update the one on this main page to say complete. There's a lot of time wasted doing that, a lot of headache, a lot of room for mistake. It's just too much. That is not the way that you want to use a spreadsheet. That's why I said, again, you don't start with a spreadsheet. This is where your data should end. This is where your data should spit out. You don't start putting data into the spreadsheet, put it in the system. In this case, our system is SharePoint. So let's continue with this ticket, right? So this one is started. We're going to start this one too. Oops, not here. Start this one. If I felt like I could drop a comment, here's a fake comment because maybe I'll take care of this much easier. Okay, boom. So now I got 2 started items, 1 requested item. Okay. Now to do the same thing I just did on that spreadsheet, what we do in SharePoint is create views. We don't make tabs and copy and paste and do all this other stuff. We create views. I'm going to create a view to show you what I'm talking about. If I created right here, I clicked create new view. Right now we have one view, it's called all items. Self-explanatory, it shows all the items. Create new view, I'm going to say started. Started tickets. I don't got to call it tickets. I'll just say started. And say create. Now, this is no different than our first view because I didn't do anything yet. I'm about to do something. I'm going to filter this and say started, then hit apply. And now I can see, here, let me try to put a total over here. I got 2 items that are started. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to save this view because I just made an edit to the view. Hey, wait. When I make an edit to the view, you can see that little asterisk right there. See a little asterisk right there? I'm going to hit save the view as started. Then the asterisk goes away. So now I know that I have 2 items that started. But if I go back to my all items view, let's put a total on this. I know I got 4 tickets in the system right now. Doesn't matter what the status is. I have 4 tickets, and you gotta excuse my son and his friend. They over there being mad loud, even though I told them to keep it down. Anyway, I got 4 tickets inside of the system, right? But I know I also have 2 that are started. And you don't have to create the view. I'm gonna show you why a view is useful. Because you could come here and you could say, all right, the boss says, yo, how many tickets we got that are in the queue? I filter and I say started, hit apply, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's 2. Hey, boss, there's 2. Or you could tell your boss, yo, stop bothering me. Don't ask me no questions. Just go to the link if you're feeling bold. So then, so all right, I'm gonna show you why I saved this view though, right? Here, let me clear this. I'm gonna clear the filters. You see all 4, and then we're gonna go to our started view. Our started view has 2 items on it, right? The cool thing about views is that you get URLs for these views. They have their own unique URL, right? So right now, look, we have ticketing system in the navigation bar, right? But I'm gonna take this URL up here. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna edit this, and I'm gonna make a new link. Paste that long URL we just saved, and I'm gonna say started. All right, hit OK. But I'm gonna drag it up underneath ticketing system so it looks, see how it's tabbed in there like that? So I hit save. Now, let's go to the home. Let's go anywhere. Oops. Let's go to the home page. See, ticketing system now has a little arrow underneath it because I linked to that started view. So ticketing system, I get to see everything. But maybe I want to prompt my help desk team to, know that there's other views you can go to. So I click started. Now I see all of the started items. This is, again, something you cannot do in a spreadsheet. Here's something else cool. The view that I created. Oh, also, by the way, oh wait, there is some. I was gonna say, stop me if you got any questions. Hold on, I see might be an item over here. Is there a chat, something in the chat? How do you create an approval for each item created? So an approval, you might need to come off mute to ask me this, but if you're just talking about marking the item completed, super easy. But if you're talking about automating that, that's a whole different story. But either, respond in the chat and let me know, and then I'll hook you up with an answer. So, we got our view right here of started items. But this is not the only kind of view that you could create that's related to your help desk system. SharePoint allows you to, when I hit create new view, look at these options I got. I could create a calendar. I could create a gallery. This is for images. Or I could create a board. Let me show you the board because I think a board applies to something like a help desk system. So I click board. I'm going to organize the board by status. And I'm going to call this, we'll just call it board. We're going to go with no creativity. Board, hit create. Now look at this. So these are our tickets, but laid out in a board view. Now, there's a lot of things you need to know about this board view. It's not, all peaches and cream. Once you get into using SharePoint a lot, then you'll find out the little things that, you just got to figure out how to work around. One of them being this unassigned item area. You can't get rid of it. But again, there's a lot of things you need to know about this board view, but I guarantee this board view is better than what you were doing on a spreadsheet. All right, I'm gonna stop taking shots at your spreadsheet. All right, now, remember we have 2 items that are started, right? So this same one, was this it? Yeah, I logged on to the computer. I found out, we needed to find something else. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to drag this into the complete because now I have that option because I'm on this board view. See, it's started and it's in the started column, but this is the complete column. I'm gonna take this, drag it into complete, and look, it just changed it to complete. So now on your started view, you only got 1 item. You don't gotta do no cutting and pasting and copy and pasting and all that. Is somebody off mute? Somebody got a question? All right. Somebody is off mute though, or on mute. What are you? They're off mute. So like if you were doing a spreadsheet, you would have to do that copying and pasting thing that I was talking about, but you don't have to do that when you use a list. It moves itself throughout the system. So you just saw we were in the board view, and when we were in the board view here, this is how you get to your views. You go back to the board view. You saw that I dragged the item from started to complete. Here's another one. This one is requested. This is in the default state. We're ready to get this going. We've talked to the customer. We're dragging that to started. So see right here? Now it's started. While this one is still requested. And if I go back to my main view, I can see the status. All the statuses are the same. We don't have to update something in one area and update another in another area. You don't got to do all of that. It's all being captured in this list. The only thing with the views is just we're just seeing different views.